First up, let's talk about big feelings. You know, when our 2-year-olds, our 1-year-olds, our infants, our toddlers, teenagers have what we call big feelings. What is it? What's going on? Okay. I think what's most important to highlight when it comes down to big feelings is just recognizing that expressing expressing yourself is both okay and healthy. It will not always look, well, it will sometimes look messy, and that is okay. Keep in mind that you will not think it's okay for your child to have a tantrum, these are just labels that we've given these things, but you will not feel like it's okay for your child to express themselves in certain ways, especially particularly when they're expressing themselves in ways that you couldn't. So if when you were highly triggered as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, if you were highly triggered, and if you tried to process, or if you were processing being highly triggered at a young age through screaming, through frustration, through just like throwing your toys in your room, whatever it was, because you remember you were doing the best you could from your level of awareness. You were here to learn from those in your environment how to process your emotions healthfully and in a constructive way. So you were never doing anything wrong. Every single time you threw a toy in your room, it's not that you were wrong. You were processing your emotion the best way you could, and it was a teaching moment. It was an opportunity for space to be held for you to process, and then also to be shown that there were other ways available for you to process as well. For a lot of us, however, what happened is we did the best we could. We felt triggered, and we would do whatever we did as a result of being triggered and not knowing how to process our emotions in a constructive way. And we would be beat for it. We would be screamed at for it. We would be punished for it. And we would never really get the sit down of, here are some other ways that you can, when you're feeling rage, when you're feeling anger, here's some other things that you can do that will help you to let that energy out, right? A lot of us didn't really get that talk. Right? So keep in mind that a large portion of the moments that you feel or that you tend to be triggered by your child, when your child is expressing their big feelings, pay attention to the correlation between those moments and what happened to you and the reaction you got from your parents when you were their age and you were operating similarly, right? So it's very important that we recognize that when our children are processing their emotions, they are always doing the best they can from their level of awareness. If you see that they are processing their emotion in a way that could cause them or another person harm, this is an opportunity for you to be what you really are, a guide and a teacher and a mentor. You are not just your child's parent. You are also their guide, their mentor, and their teacher. The teacher at a public or private school is not the only teacher in your child's life. You are also their teacher, their guide, and their mentor. And they are learning far more from you and your behaviors than they are from the teacher at their school. They are learning far more things from you that they will mimic or they will take into their future than they are from their teacher. Okay? Expressing yourself is both okay and healthy. It will sometimes look messy, and that is okay. When your child is doing something or processing in a way that looks like it could be a detriment to them or to others, it's an opportunity for you to activate your mentor and your teacher role and to show them what's possible, not necessarily while they're still processing their emotion, but after they've returned to their naturally peaceful state. It's an opportunity to show them, hey, you can also Feel free to do XYZ. Show them some of the things that are helping you to self-regulate. Feel free to show some of those things to them. You are a cycle breaker. One of the cycles that you are breaking is the cycle of not showing up as their teacher and their guide and their mentor. See, it's kind of impossible to show up as a mentor if you're not embodying what it is that you want your child to embody, which is why it's highly imperative that you get clear about what is it you want for your child and what are the behaviors you don't want for your child. And then you make sure that you are embodying the wants for them and you are not doing the things you don't want them to do, so that you can actually step into that mentor role. It's hard to step up in that mentor role if we are not actually embodying the things that we are speaking on, right? So how do you want your child to process those emotions? Do you want them to feel like they have a safe space to feel their feelings without shame or judgment? If the answer to that is yes, please, are you making sure that you are creating a safe space for you to process your own emotions? Because what you want for your child is also what you want for yourself. What are some ways that you want your child to learn how to process their emotions when they're feeling those big feelings? And are you making sure that you're applying every day some sort of game plan that is simple and practical that helps you to process your emotions in a healthy and constructive way? Don't expect something from your child that you are not willing to practice yourself. The moment you start to practice the things that you want your child to embody is the moment that you're going to start to experience huge transformation in your life and an ability to mentor and guide. Without feeling as though what you're asking of your child is impossible. You will know it's possible because you are practicing it, embodying it, and experiencing the results of doing so yourself. So from the moment we wake up to the moment that we go to sleep, from the moment that we wake up to the moment that we go to sleep, a lot happens, right? And we might not be giving ourselves the time and space to process all that's happening, to fully feel the emotion that comes with what happens throughout our day. So that can lead to a lot of suppressing. Example, you wake up in the morning and you start to feel a little stress build up because of all the things you have to do today, but you don't feel like you have time to fully sit with that feeling of stress. So you just suppress it and keep on trucking, right? And then you get in the car, you head to work, and then there's tons of traffic, but then your phone rings. So you're flipping out about the traffic, but you don't really have the time to feel and fully process what you're feeling about the traffic, right? And so because your phone rings, so you suppress it some more, right? And then you get on the phone with so-and-so, and you get a little frustrated and you project onto that person on the phone because some of all that trapped stuff so far that's built up since the morning that you haven't really fully felt, sat with, and released consciously, some of it starts to pop up on that phone call because that's just what naturally happens. And then you get off the phone call and then you get to work and then there's no coffee made in the coffee room. And you get super triggered about that because that's something you've been complaining about for quite some time. But you don't really have the ability or the time to, lose it on everybody about that. So you go to your desk without your coffee and you just suppress that irritation, frustration, that anger. And all of that's being suppressed on top of all of the other stuff that was already suppressed from the morning. Needless to say, there's a lot of other things that happen throughout the remainder of the day. And then you just don't give yourself time to fully feel any of it, to fully sit with any of it. So much of it's being just pushed down into the depths of you. Doesn't go anywhere. Oh, it's there. And it is going to be released. The question is it going to be released consciously and intentionally? Or is it going to be released unconsciously and in a way that leads to us looking back like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did and said that? Because all of that stuff, you just get triggered and all of that stuff just comes flooding to the surface and leads to you to do and say things that are reflective of all of that turmoil within yourself, right? So it's going to be released. Oftentimes, when we express or look like we are having a bout of big feelings, it's a release, okay? It's a release. And when we are blessed enough to be in the presence of someone who's not taking it personally, because they're aware that it's a release. We are not being faced with opposition or having to be in fight or flight because the person in front of us is thinking that this release that's happening is their fault and it's all about them. No, when we are blessed to have somebody in our space who is saying, oh my goodness, this is a huge release. This may also be some stuff that was pent up from things that happened at school with my child that I'm not even aware of. It's just a huge release. And I'm happy to be a safe space for them to release. And when they feel peace again and if they want to talk about this, I will be here for them, right? Expressing yourself and when your child expresses themselves, it is healthy and okay. It's a release and it's not about you, even if it looks like it's about you. Where you fit in is that you are the blessing to them, the one that is able to sit with them, be with them, not judge them, not shame them, and to hold space for what they're feeling, while doing the same for yourself if you're triggered by them being triggered. It's an opportunity for us to show them that we love them, even when things seem messy. Okay? So in the past generations, for many, many generations, we have been conditioned to shame, blame, beat, abuse, hit, scream at children when they are triggered or processing big emotion. Because we cannot really hold space for, I can only hold space for you when you're experiencing grief, anger, rage, frustration to the degree that I have practiced or am practicing to sit with and be aware of and hold space of those emotions when I feel and experience them myself. If I find it almost impossible to sit and really just sit with anger and rage and feel it for even 10 seconds, then me sitting with you when you're processing anger and rage and frustration, me sitting with you for 10 seconds of pure just being with you, not judging you, not projecting negative thoughts about your emotional state in that moment, just sitting and being with you with compassion and understanding. My ability to do that with you will be at a similar time frame as what I can do for myself. Do not be fooled into thinking that you can ever hold space for, sit with, or be anything for someone else genuinely that you are not practicing to be for yourself. Okay? What you practice with others is reflective of what you're practicing with you. What you practice with yourself is going to be reflected in how you are with others. Okay? So the past, we've been conditioned to shame, blame, beat, abuse, hit, scream at children when they are triggered or processing their big emotion. You are here to create the future based on how you operate here and now. You are a cycle breaker. You are here to create the future based on how you operate here and now. So every time your child has a tantrum or is triggered and you have the audacity and you have the courage and the willingness to pause and say, you are triggered and it's okay. You are processing how you feel right now to the best of your ability and it's okay. You are expressing yourself and it is okay. This is a release and it is okay. And I am not going to do or say anything that causes you to suppress how you feel. Express yourself. And if I feel as though how you're expressing yourself is a detriment to you or me, I will guide you and I will teach you, but not from a place of rage and spite and anger. I'm going to guide and I'm going to teach you from a place of understanding that this is a release. This is natural. This is normal. It is healthy. And there are other ways that you can consciously and constructively release this tension, this stress, this turmoil that you're feeling. And I will guide you in those ways. I will show you what I have learned. I will show you what I am practicing that helps me to process my emotions healthily as well. That is the future That is what's available for us to pass down to the future generations. Okay? All right. Okay. Please pay attention. The next thing I wanted to share with you today is please pay attention to the things that resonate, not just when you're listening to me, but in general, like throughout all day long, your entire life. Please pay attention to the things that resonate with you. Nothing resonates for no reason. Nothing gives you that feeling of, yes, what? This makes so much sense. This feels so good to hear. Why does this feel so? What? This is ringing all my bells, even if it's just one sentence, right? This is just really lighting me up on the inside. Resonance. Pay attention to the things that resonate, please. Not to the things that you're told need to resonate or that you've been taught should feel right to you. Pay attention to this is how you get to know yourself. Okay? Giving yourself permission to acknowledge what resonates is how you get to know yourself. Please pay attention to the things that resonate. Nothing resonates for no reason. Pay more attention to the message than the messenger. If I say something that resonates, it doesn't mean that I'm some person to put on a pedestal. It just means that life, love has spoken to you in a way, has spoken to you through someone in a way that hits you where it needs to hit you, and that it reminds you of something you already felt to be true in the first place. Nobody's teaching you anything new. Nobody's telling you something that you haven't already. The reason something resonates with you so heavy, so hard, is because you're hearing externally something that's speaking to your soul, something that's speaking to you, to the depths of you, something that's already within you as a truth, as something you were aware of, but you heard it verbalized externally, and boom, it resonates. Okay? So don't put a messenger on a pedestal. Pay more attention to the message than the messenger. Use the messages that resonate to change your life in a way that you want, not because you have to change your life, but because you are free and you can. You do not have to live life the way you have been programmed to live your life. You can now those who programmed you would be very happy for you to do so, right? The grandparents who programmed you to spank and scream at your child and who still believe that that's the way to discipline, they are going to pat you on the back when you operate that way with your child. Okay? The society who conditioned you to compare yourself to other people and to judge your success based on your finances is going to be very pleased when you are sulking because your financial balance is low, because your bank balance is low, and that same society is going to validate you when you are proud because your bank balance is high. Okay, that same society is going to pat you on the back when you do all that you can to make sure you look like who society says you're supposed to look like. And that same society is going to shame you when you do not look the way that they've told you you're supposed to look. So you see, you will always be validated in some way, shape, or form by those who programmed you when you are operating the way they've programmed you to operate. That's no validation at all. You can spice it up though with your own intentions and your own flow. and not caring about what your family or other people think, and instead caring only about what resonates with you, what feels true for you. Not caring about what me, Michelle, or anyone else thinks, but doing what feels true for you and feels best for your family and takes you in the direction of achieving your own goals as far as your family and your parenting style is concerned. Well, then you might not get the validation from your parents anymore, but who cares? Who cares if you're following your own heart and feeling more peace and joy within your home and with your family? Does your parents' validation and life's validation and the world's validation matter more than the peace and joy that you and your family experience, that you feel? Don't let anything matter more than the peace that you are able to give yourself permission to have more and more. Life is very short. Do not live it for other people. Giving yourself permission to acknowledge what resonates with you, to acknowledge what resonates is how you get to know yourself. Okay? It's so fun. It's so fun when you let resonance guide you. It is so fun when you are watching something or you're reading something or you hear something and it resonates and it's like, oh my gosh, why does this resonate? Oh, that resonates so deeply. And it just alters your perception in a powerful way and you feel more free. That is so fun to get to know who you truly are from resonance, from giving yourself permission to acknowledge things that resonate with you and to also acknowledge the things that don't. And be mindful about when things don't resonate with you. Be mindful of the habit or pattern of creating a story about it. We don't have to create a story. That just leads to us suffering and more separation. I have mentors and I have coaches. Okay, I'm not out here winging it either, right? I've been a parent empowerment coach now for a little over 4 years as a business that I own. And before that also, right? But for 4 years as a business and as something that my own passion and my own calling, something that I've been a parent empowerment coach and a mindset coach. But I am also a coachee, a student. I also have coaches and mentors that I invest financially in and those that I've just been investing in as far as my time and energy is concerned because we've been on this path together for a very long time, for over 10 years. And they resonate with me their message and their delivery resonates with me, right? Let resonance guide you in all areas of your life. Do not listen to me if I am not resonating with you. Do not listen to anyone if it's not a message that resonates. Let resonance guide you. Oh, but the other thing I was mentioning earlier, moments ago, is that similarly, that's the other thing I was going to share. So like my own coaches and my own mentors, if they say something that doesn't resonate, it just doesn't resonate. It might resonate for one of the other thousands of people who also are their coachees, or what is it called? Their client family, right? Sometimes what somebody is saying, especially those of us who have multiple eyeballs that are lit and ears that are listening and watching us, sometimes what's coming through, not all of it is for everybody, but sometimes bits of it are for some people and bits of it are for others. What matters more than anything is that you are locking in and paying attention to the things that resonate with you when it comes to every aspect of your life and everyone that you're listening to and in every conversation. Taking what resonates and leaving what doesn't. But similarly, when someone says something that doesn't resonate, it just doesn't resonate. Don't let that take you out of your peace. Don't let that take you out of your joy. Don't let that take you from feeling peace and happiness to all of a sudden giving your time and your energy to very slow and very sluggish energy of like shaming them, blaming them, or belittling them or gossiping or judging about them. Because any of that stuff you project onto someone else, you're the first victim of it. You're the first one who has to feel the ickiness of those energies, the judgment, the shame and all, and it slows you down. So When you hear things that don't resonate, don't create a storyline about it. Just have fun and be like, whew, that didn't resonate with me. That message is not for me, but it's also helping me get to know myself super deeply. It's helping me see what I don't agree with, what I don't want to implement into my own parenting style, what I don't want to create my life from. Get equally as happy about the things you notice that resonate with you, that don't resonate with you, as you get about the things that do resonate with you. Okay? This is actually a trick to like really eliminating judging other people, to be quite honest. You see somebody do something horrific. It's like, whew, I used to let this really get my emotions in a wad. But to be honest, dude, you've actually helped me. I'm not saying I condone what you did at all, but you actually have helped me see who I really am not here to be in this lifetime, right? Because what they did doesn't resonate. You know when something resonates with you. It's that feeling of like, this is lighting me up. This feels good. This, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking to your mom and they have they used to have the ability or the tendency to get you all in a wad, right? Get you all triggered and angry and frustrated because of the things they would say, right? Now it's like, whew, you feel, sometimes you still feel the triggering sensations, but you're getting more and more practice at sitting with that feeling. You know that feeling you feel when you're triggered, right? You're getting more and more skilled at being able to sit with and hold space for that. So it's not really hijacking you or anything like that these days. But still, sometimes when your parents say something, it's like, whew, I used to flip out. It just triggered me so much that I used to flip out when I heard you speaking your mind and how you feel, and I just didn't agree with it, and I used to flip out about it and felt like I had to get you to see things differently. And now it's just wow, it just doesn't resonate. That's all it ever was. You're free to express yourself the way that you want to express yourself, mom. Actually, it's kind of cute now. I'm just here listening to my mom express herself the way that she feels to express herself. I'm just here listening. I'm here. My heart is still open. I'm just here listening, letting her release, letting her express. And it doesn't resonate with me even a tiny bit. And that's okay. Thank you, mom, for help. Now, you won't say this to her, right? But thank you, mom, for showing me the ideas, the morals, the principles, the beliefs, etc., that I know I'm not here to live by because they just don't resonate, right? Get equally excited about when you realize the things that don't resonate with you as you get about realizing things that do resonate with you. All right, so moving right along, I have a message real briefly for single mothers and a message for anyone who has left a domestically abusive situation. And I also have a message to anyone right now who feels alone in parenthood. Okay. First of all, for single mothers, I was a single mother from the time my child was 6 months in my womb, from the time I was 6 months pregnant when I left her father, all the way until my child was 9 years old. Single mother. Okay. So when I share what I'm about to share, I like to lead with that. Um, and for anyone also who's left this, for those of you who have left. So first of all, for single mothers watching this video, don't believe the BS. You are no less likely to live a life that you want than if you were not a single mom. Do not believe that you will be happy, you would be happier, things would be easier, and that life would be better if you weren't a single mom. Do not let yourself fall victim to the belief and mindset that you failed and that you're a bad person and a bad parent because you're a single mother. Do not fall victim to these thoughts and beliefs. They are not true, which is why they feel so icky for you to think. There's a reason they feel icky when you think them. Do not believe that you cannot accomplish what you want to accomplish, what you feel deep down in your heart you're here to do on this planet, and what you want to do, and the type of relationship you want to have with your child, and the type of relationship you want to have with yourself, and potentially a different partner in the future. Do not believe that's not possible for you because you're a single mother. It's not true, unless you believe it's true about you, because there are plenty of testimonials now that bear witness to that not being the truth or the case. Many of my client family have been single parents and are currently thriving and experiencing amazing relationships with their children, creating their businesses are flourishing. They're creating businesses. They're going to school at the same time as being a single mother and doing all types of other things. Do not for 1 minute believe that parenthood or being a single parent, because there's already a large amount of us who believe that parenthood is preventing us from living our lives the way that we want to, and for us fulfilling our dreams and aspirations. But then there's also a large group of the collective that is falling victim to the mentality, to the belief, to the thought form that being a single parent is why you are not able to experience peace, and why you are not able to experience the type of life that you want or create the life that you want. It is not true. Instead, it's game time. It's a blessing in disguise. And when you wake up to the blessing that it is, you will thrive. I'm going to explain that in a moment. A message for anyone who has left a domestic abuse situation. I am happy for you. I am excited about your future. You deserve nothing but love, and you deserve to be treated with respect. And you are worthy of nothing less, not just from others, but from yourself. Everything you wanted your partner to give you, you're here to give yourself. And now it's game time. And now it's time that we get to practice showing ourselves what we've been programmed and conditioned to expect from others. Everything you've ever wanted from a partner, you're here to give to yourself. Okay? The validation, the love, the peace, the kindness, the words of affirmation, all of the love languages that you expected from your partner that they didn't give you, not because you weren't worthy of it, but 9 times out of 10 because they weren't giving it to themselves. See, they could only treat you with the same type of respect and kindness and compassion that they were showing themselves. So you see, it was never about you or you not being worthy or you not being deserving of the love and compassion. It's a reflection of what they were not able to give to themselves, therefore that they were not giving it to you. Now it's your turn to practice giving everything you wanted from another to yourself. And that's going to set you up to be able to receive a partner who also has practiced giving all that they expect from another to themselves. And then when two people who are whole and not looking for things from the other get together, that's magic. And that's your destiny. That's your destiny. That's what you deserve in a partnership, is someone who is able to give to you all of the things you deserve because they're practicing to give it to themselves, who is able to show you respect because they respect themselves, who's able to show up for you and be kind to you because they're that way for themselves. That's what's next for you. And right now, at this time that you've left that domestically abusive situation, or at this time when you are now a single in a chapter of your life, when you are a single mother, or now if for anyone watching this who may be in a relationship and still feels alone, because I've had many in my client family who are married but feel like they are attempting to break cycles alone. For anyone who fits any of that, feels alone in parenthood, feels alone in trying to break cycles, who feels alone because they just left an unhealthy relationship, who feels alone because they're a single parent, any of you, it is game time now. It's not a curse. It's not that you're being punished. It is a blessing right now. It is a beautiful chapter in your life right now to get to know yourself more deeply and to practice loving yourself at a level that you've never done before, at a level you may have never witnessed an adult in your family love themselves before. And then to watch how that overflow of love and compassion and healing floods into your relationships with your children and your future partners or your current marriage. Your future is brighter than you or I can imagine. Okay? So, the next thing I wanted to share let's see. Ooh, yes, this one. Your child has what they deserve. Your child has the mother that you are, or if you're a father watching this, your child has the parent in you that they deserve. Give yourself permission to show up as though you are aware of that. Oftentimes we walk around thinking my child doesn't I'm not the parent my child deserves. Yes, you are. It's just, are you giving yourself permission to be the parent that they are so blessed to have? See, there's a favorite version of you. There's a version of you. See, who I was at 18, I was learning and growing, but that was not my favorite version of me. I wasn't speaking from or acting like the version of me that was my favorite. Not at all, not by a long shot. And I hope in 10 years, I hope in 5 years, I hope in 2 years, I look back at the version I am now and I say, that wasn't my favorite version of me. I was learning and I was growing, right? The version of me that I was when I was 26 wasn't my favorite version of me. Now, I'm not saying that I don't love that version of me. I don't forgive that version of me or any of that. Of course not. I love who I am right now. I feel like I'm operating from my most favorite version of myself that I've ever had in my entire life right now. I'm just aware that we grow and we expand. So who I am now is not going to be necessarily, or what I say, how I act now is not necessarily going to be what resonates for me in 2, 5, 10 years, right? So my point is that your child has the parent in you that they deserve. It's just, are you giving yourself permission to show up as your favorite version of yourself right now? Your child is blessed to have you just the way that you are, but are you giving yourself permission to show up as though you're aware of that? Are you giving yourself permission to show up as your favorite version of yourself? Okay, they are blessed to have you just the way that you are. And if you feel like there's any aspect of you that you would like to be different so that you could feel like the statement, your child is blessed to have you just the way you are, would feel more true for you, give yourself permission to set goals and intentions that help you to get more skilled at whatever it is that you feel you want to incorporate into your parent-child experience that would help you to feel like that statement is true for you. I'm not going to stop saying it just because it doesn't feel true for you. Your child is blessed to have you just the way that you are. And if you feel like that's not true, look at why you feel like that's not true and set a goal or intention that will make it feel true for you. But don't expect other people to see you as less than amazing. No. Instead, you give yourself permission to elevate, where you give yourself permission to realize that instead of seeing, oh my gosh, Michelle keeps saying that just doesn't feel true for me. That just doesn't, no, that's not true. My child isn't blessed to have me. That's one side of the polarity. The other side, remember, is that your child is blessed to have you. Give yourself permission to choose which of those you want for yourself. Do you want to continue to believe that your child isn't blessed to have you? Or do you want to believe the other side, which can be equally as true for you as well? We've just been programmed and conditioned to think negatively in this society. But you have the option and opportunity to empoweringly think positively about yourself as well. And if you choose to say, well, you know what? I actually do want to believe that my child is blessed to have me just the way that I am. If that's what you choose, because it is your right to. But if it doesn't resonate, you choose it, but it doesn't resonate, then ask yourself why it doesn't resonate. Create goals and intentions to make it resonate. Create goals and intentions. Maybe it doesn't feel like it resonates because you don't feel like you really spend a lot of quality time with them, just time where it's just purely just to chill with them. Nice. Now create a game plan or an intention where you're going to invest 10 minutes minimum every day, Monday through Sunday, of just sitting with them on the floor, playing blocks with them, or just letting them lead the way in whatever y'all choose to do for a minimum of 10 minutes. Now, 2 weeks later, you've added 70 minutes of intentional quality time to your weeks with your every single week with your child, and you're starting to feel a lot more like I am the parent that my child is blessed to have. Why? Because you were honest with yourself and you realized that saying my child is blessed to have me the way that I am, you were honest and you acknowledged that that did not resonate. It didn't feel true, but you wanted it to be true. And then you created goals and intentions that were in the direction of where you want your relationship with your child to go. And now that statement is starting to feel more true for you. Solely because you gave yourself permission for it to, and you gave your permission to take action in a way that led to you being your favorite version of yourself more and more. Okay? Your health has more to do with what you think all day long than what you eat. Okay? So this society would have you think and believe that your health has a lot to do with your BMI number. It has a lot to do with blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that those things don't play a role in our physical health, but your health has more to do with what you think all day long than what you eat. Get your thinking squared away, and your actions will start to reflect a higher level of intelligence in your favor. Okay. You naturally do more healthy and more positive things for your body and for yourself and for your life and for your family and for your kids. You naturally do more things that benefit you and your family when you are not thinking negatively and harshly and critically about yourself and others all day long. You are a genius, and the genius within you is activated more often throughout your day in all areas of your life when you are not investing a lot of time and energy in giving your attention to negative thinking. Remember, I'm not talking about negative thoughts. We want to be aware of those. Look at them, watch them. I do not recommend attempting to stop thoughts. Okay? That is a struggle. Okay? Instead, acknowledge that thousands of thoughts come and go every day. Negative, neutral thoughts, negative thoughts, horrible thoughts, positive thoughts, amazing thoughts. Thousands of them come and go. Be aware of them. But remember that thinking is a choice. Giving attention, a thought pops up in my head about something that happened 2 years ago. I noticed the thought, hi thought, you are one of hundreds of thousands that are going to pop up in my mind this week. Hello, this does not feel good for me to focus on right now. I do not choose to focus on you. Oh, look at the bunny. Oh, look at the tree. I'm excited. Let me make a list. Let me spend 30 seconds making a list of things that I'm excited about today or this week, right? Focus on something else. You are free to do that. You are free to do that. And at first, it can feel difficult just to practice pivoting. Over time and with practice, it gets easier and easier and easier. What you practice, you become a master at. I'm not joking. You practice karate starting at age 2, and you've been practicing for 25 years. Guess what? Year 25, you are a beast at karate. And it's not because you're better than anyone else. It's because you've been practicing. What you practice, you will master. So please, 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 your health has more to do with what you think all day long than what you eat. Or that's just an example, than how much than your health in general has more to do with what you think than anything else. It's not just about food, right? That's just what came to me when I was typing. But just your health has more to do with what you think than anything else. Your health. Do not think that you can feel highly energized, ready for whatever, excited about life, whole, holistic, and experience healthy relationships and health in finances and health in this, that, the other, and health in diet if you are constantly focusing on things that bring you down and weigh you down and feel horrible and feel icky about yourself and about others. Give yourself permission to acknowledge that reducing how much time you give to negativity is a powerful thing that you can start to do that will increase your health in all areas of your life. Okay? Losing patience. The following is for those who might be experiencing that they lose patience from time to time with their children or others. Losing patience. Apply a game plan that stretches your capacity to be patient and stick with it until you notice that you have expanded in that area. That is the name of the game for everything, basically, that we discuss. This is how we really experience a lot of transformation and shifts in our relationships with our children. Call out the problem. Don't spend a lot of time on the problem. Start creating a game plan that helps you with the problem. Do you feel like you're losing patience when your child is getting ready for school in the morning? Create a game plan that's simple and practical that is going to help you to not spank them in the mornings when it's time to because you're trying to rush them and you feel as though you are believing that spanking them is the only way they're going to get out the door on time, or screaming at them, etc. Create a game plan that will help you to do something different that feels more in sync with who you want to be as a parent. Losing patience when your child is processing their emotions, create a game plan that helps you to be able to sit with what you're feeling in those moments for longer and longer periods of time, therefore also being a safe space while they process their emotions and being able to show up compassionately when they are processing their emotions. Okay? If you are watching this video and you feel as though you don't have a game plan, or that it's hard for you to create those game plans, right? That's what I'm here for. If you are watching this video, you in some way, shape, or form have some way to communicate with me where we can partner together and create game plans that you can start applying and experimenting with and changing and tweaking and creating into your own, that can potentially be a solution to your perceived problem. There are no problems, there are just opportunities for you to create in a way that feels more true for you. It's not about what you know. It's not about the content you consume. It's about you applying what you know. Your life doesn't change because of what you know. Your life changes because of how often you start to apply what you know. Okay? You will continue to feel lost. You will continue to feel like cycles are repeating over and over and over and over in your life. You will continue to feel like cycles are on repeat. Screaming, spanking, apologizing, trying to do better, screaming, spanking, apologizing, trying to do better, screaming, spanking, apologizing, whatever type of wheel we may be on at the time. That will continue over and over and over and over and over again until you get clear about what you want. Until you get clear about your goals and your intentions, until you get clear about what you want for yourself, for your future, and for your relationship with your child, until you get clear about what you want throughout the day. What do you want to do tonight? What's the type of energy you want to experience when you communicate with your child? What type of energy do you want to give to your relationship tonight with your child, regardless of how they show up? What do you want to make sure you are giving to your relationship with your child? As far like, is it compassion? Is it fun? Is it joy? Get intentional, get clear about what you want. Do you want to continue spanking? No. Be aware of that. Boldly declare it. Set goals and intentions reflective of that. You cannot set a goal or an intention about your future and your relationships if you don't even call out what you want to begin with. So get clear about what you want so that you can know what direction you're headed in, and you can be more aware of whether or not your actions and your words are reflective of if you're going in the direction of where you want to go or not. Okay? Let what you want be your guide, be your North Star. You want peace in your home and in your relationships? Then anytime you are not speaking or acting in a way that is reflective of peace or any type of constructive way, that's a sign that you're not headed in that moment in the direction of where you want to go as far as creating your life and your relationships. And it's really powerful to be aware of that and to have that as a guide. What happens when we don't know what we want? When we don't give ourselves permission to boldly declare what we want? Then we tend to create our lives the way that we've watched other people create their lives. We tend to basically replicate what we were programmed to do based on what we witnessed growing up. If you don't boldly declare what you want in your relationship, if you don't boldly declare what you want, what you want in general, then you kind of feel lost. If you don't boldly declare how you want to show up when your child is processing their big emotions, then you might feel very lost in the moment when it's happening. But what do you think happens when right now you say, you know what, the next time my child is processing big emotions, I want to sit and to put a hand on my heart and to just count to 10 with the sole intention to just really feel all the feelings I'm feeling by being triggered, by them being triggered. Instead of projecting or screaming or doing whatever it is that I've been doing lately, I want to just use that as an opportunity to practice strengthening my capacity to sit with my emotions, my own big emotions. Get clear about what you want. Identify your problem or pain point in parenthood. Acknowledge that that's a very valid concern or problem you feel you have. And then let's have some fun creating some simple and practical solutions that can lead to a more peaceful, calm, compassionate outcome. Okay? Get clear on what you want. What do you want when it comes down to parenthood and when it comes down to the type of relationship you want to end up having with your child in 10, 20, 30 years? What do you want? Keep shining. Keep giving yourself permission to focus on things that uplift you and empower you. Keep giving yourself permission to excuse me, to follow your own heart, to acknowledge your worth, to acknowledge that you are worthy of love, your own love above all else. Keep giving yourself permission to dream big. Keep going.